ringing of the bells on Petrov.
This was during the Great Siege of Brno. In the spring of 1645, the Swedish general Lennart Torstensson arrived at the city and decided to besiege it. If he had been successful, then the Swedes would have had victory over the emperor within their grasp. Lay siege to Vienna and the war would have been done and dusted. But the general had made a slight miscalculation, however. Brno's walls were strong and its defenders resolute. Every inhabitant of the city organized to defy the enemy forces. The siege was hard. Many people died and many homes were destroyed by cannon fire. But the townsfolk did not surrender.
The people from the surrounding villages suffered in their own way. They had to cart hay to the Swedish camp for their horses, food for their soldiers, and above all else, wine. From these trips it was clear the Swedes were faring poorly. Sickness and rage were rampant among the troops. One day a pub owner overheard the Swedish general telling his soldiers, "Tomorrow I'm ordering the last attack. We can't carry on like this. If we don't take the city by noon, I'll give the order to retreat." The pub owner, who had been forced to serve the Swedish soldiers, had learned to understand their foreign language. That night, he made his way through the secret underground tunnels and into the city to bring the message to the commander of the Brno defense.
The next morning, on the August the 15th, the Swedish army attacked. The attack was more ferocious than any of its predecessors. The Swedes were strong and experienced, and they slowly began to break through the walls. It looked as if the city would not hold out. Knowing that the Swedish would move on if they didn't seize the city by noon, the defenders decided to ring the bell for noon earlier. Even though it was only 11 o'clock, the bells on the cathedral chimed 12 times.
The ruse worked. For the Swedish camp, trumpets sounded the retreat, and the soldiers stopped fighting. They gave up. 2 days later, not a trace remained of the Swedish encampment. Ever since, the midday bells of the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul are rung an hour early to commemorate the city's salvation.